Woo! Welcome, boys. In my teenage years, I had a screen time of 8+ hours a day for around 5 years straight. That is a lot of social media. That's a lot of YouTube, it's a lot of consumption. And only when I broke that habit of doom scrolling and just jumping on my phone whenever I could, did I actually start to realize the awful effects it was having on me and my ability to live the life I wanted in reality. And that's the key I want to give you here. Social media doesn't feel like a big problem. It feels like a nice buzz, that we can go about our day, but it actually warps our perception horribly. And I want to show you how to beat this so you can actually live the lives you see on social media for yourself in reality, because it feels so much better. Let's start by understanding what we actually get from social media. What we get when we're scrolling, when we're seeing this fun stuff in our feed, when we're playing games, whatever that digital distraction is, the chemical it produces is something called dopamine. Dopamine is the most basic and the most common feel-good chemical that we get in our lives. And as someone who's starting to try and learn social media now to start creating for myself, I've realized there is one key metric which pushes your content further than any other metric on the platform. It's not your hook, it's not the first 3 seconds of your video, it's not all these other things. What these companies care about more than anything else is session time. All that means is how long can they keep you on their platform at one time. Because the longer that is, the more content you're consuming, the more ads you're watching, the more revenue you're putting out there, and the more their business flourishes. It's a money game. That's what it is. It's not for your entertainment, it's for them to make money. And that's okay because we can still have some fun on it, but you've got to understand that what it is built to do is keep you on there as long as possible. And for them to do that, they've got to give you as much dopamine as possible when you're on that platform. And so from that, it's a pretty easy conclusion to make that what social media does is spike our dopamine. And when our dopamine goes all the way up, anything below that point is going to feel boring and it's not going to feel fun. So if you wake up in the morning and you go to your phone and you scroll some TikToks straight away to get your fix in, already you've spiked your dopamine. So anything which is less than that social media content, which a lot of it is very good these days, is going to feel boring, lame, it's not going to feel fun, and you're not going to want to do it. That goes for all the positive things like the gym, work, anything that's less exciting than that content we just watched is going to be sad. But if you wake up in the morning, you don't touch your phone, you don't get on social media, and you just go straight into your work, it might feel a bit boring at first. But once you get more into it, once you start accomplishing things, you're actually going to get some real dopamine from doing that, and you're going to feel so much better. Then at the end of the day, if you jump on social media, whoo, it's going to feel even better again. So I just want you to test this for me for one day. Get up, do not touch your phone for at least the first 3 hours, and see how much easier it is for you to go and do your hard work and get those things done than if you touch your phone straight away. Just test that for me for 2 days. I guarantee you the result is going to absolutely blow your mind. And there's a lot of great uses for social media, but most of those uses are only for the people that create. It's a very simple tool, social media. It's a machine. You put something in, you get a guaranteed result. The person who consumes social media is the loser. The person who successfully creates on social media is the winner, because they're actually standing to profit something on that. But if you're someone who just consumes, it is going to feel pretty good, because what we actually see on there is idealized lives. We see these people living the life that we want to live, and we get that rush of motivation. And that's why as a teenager, I always felt like I was on the brink of success. I thought, okay, I'm about to have a breakout. When I hit 22, I'm already going to be a multimillionaire. But I'm 22 now, and I am not yet even a millionaire. Hopefully we get there soon, but we haven't done that yet. And me at 16, I truly believed that I would be. But the reason why that was is because I was constantly in this elevated state, feeling like I already had that life, because what I was consuming all day was the people who had it in real life. We're taking videos of it with fantastic, very clever camera angles and really pulling you in, successfully creating content. And then you feel like you've already got that thing. You feel like it's so close. And so you don't really go into trying to do the hard work and getting all this stuff done so you can have it in your real life. It feels like untapped potential, but so long as we just keep consuming it, we will never actually achieve that life for ourselves. So at some point we have to break the cycle, and we have to put in the work to build that life so we can live it for ourselves, to break that cycle of being the loser consumer and become the Giga Chad. I really wish I hadn't said that, but become that person who can show that life to others. You don't have to show it, but we do want to live it. It's a lot more fun. I could very easily drag this out to a 10-minute video if I wanted to, by giving you complex strategies, way to beat the machine, and all the different negative effects it has. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's very, very simple. I'll give it to you straight. There is one thing you have to do. Just delete the distraction as much as possible. Don't stress about, okay, I've got to do this, A, B, X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. None of that. Just stay off it as much as possible. Definitely stay off it in the morning, because when you're off social media, when you don't have that distraction, when you don't have that thing you've been doing for 8 hours every day, you really only have one option, and that's to do something else. Do something real in your life. And so when you've got that option, well, you can just spend it working. You can spend it building that life for yourself. And then when we start putting our efforts into real things, when we start putting our efforts into building ourselves, that idealized life we see other people showing off, when you start seeing yourself making progress in that direction, we're going to get what we call earned dopamine. That's a very real dopamine. That's something you can be very, very proud of. If you've ever gone to a club and you get there, you start partying, gets to 1 a.m. and you think, what am I doing? I just want to work. I need to go home and get rich, and it kind of ruins it for you. That's what I like to call fake dopamine. That's just a cheap little drug. It's just a mental high. It's not very real. We don't feel it through our whole body. But if we go forward and we achieve something hard and we try and minimize that cheap dopamine as much as possible so our brain doesn't get fried and it doesn't feel like we need an absolute butt ton of dopamine just to get a little buzz, that's when your life can really start to blossom, and that's when you feel that real earned dopamine which reverberates through your whole core, and you can genuinely feel proud of yourself. So if you want to change your life, if you don't want to stay where you currently are, the answer is simple. Get rid of those long session times. Spend time in your reality, in your real life. See things as they actually are, not as social media warps your perception of them to be. When you do that, you'll have all the time in the world to build a life for yourself, and it's only out from there, baby. So I hope you boys love this video. Smash like, subscribe, drop a comment, share it to your mum, share it to your nan, all that good stuff. And as always, I will see you lads in the next video. Woo!